14 for baby. Is this from you? Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Oh. Oh, hey. Yeah. Oh, it's you. You're not Sarah. Thanks for the donation, Sarah. I appreciate that. Call her a monster again, Max. Do it again. Do it for money. No. I can only do it for spite, but thanks for the donation. Yeah, I hear you. Can you not hear me?
No, I can hear you. What'd Shaylin do this time?
She didn't do anything. I just don't like I don't like it I don't like people trying to tell me to be nice to her.
I get that. I'm kind of the same way.
What do you want to talk about? We've never talked before, but we've DM'd. We've kind of talked about talking, but we've never actually done it.
Yeah, and so I figured there was a couple of things we had kind of discussed, and I could tell you like the couple topics, and if you just wanted to pick which everyone sounded more interesting to you.
Um no, 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 no. You pick. Everybody stop asking me what I want to talk about. I don't know. I lost my mind dying laughing in the drive-through, and my wife was so mad that I laughed at that she hit me on Shaylin's behalf. I have tears. Oh, see? It can become addictive, Drazi.
Okay, that's fine. I'm cool with picking. I just figured I'd give you the option if you wanted to.
All right, you
So
have my full attention.
I was just wanting to kind of talk a little bit to topics similar to the conversation you had with Glink about your view on thoughts and kind of like the morality surrounding them.
Okay. You keep muting yourself every time you talk. You know that?
Hold on, I think I have it on push to talk. Let me see if I can fix that really quick.
Okay. I'm going to talk to chat until you're ready. Take your time, though. Max is like, if all women just muted themselves. No, I don't want. I feel like I'm constantly telling women they should talk more, not less. I don't want women to mute themselves. Hi, Sculpt. Is that a Mario 2 shirt? I think it's a Mario Strikers shirt. I think this is okay. Is Birdo in any Mario Strikers? This is a soccer ball. It's either just like a semi Rule 34 Birdo shirt, or it's a Striker shirt. I don't know what it is, but I was just looking for shirts, and I googled Birdo shirt, and then I bought it. Let us see the shirt. Oh, sure. Oh, here we go. That's Birdo. Well, Birdo's a boy, for those of you who don't know the lore. The original Mr. Girl.
Can you hear me okay now, Mr. Girl?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Uh, so I was just wanting to make sure I understood a couple of your thoughts on that correctly to make
Sure.
sure, yeah. So, you believe that thoughts are basically like morally neutral. They're kind of just like chemical reactions happening in the brain. And
Well, I think
so
you can
that's why,
control. You can change your thought. Change your conscious thoughts to some degree. I think you can choose to think about something. Like if I say, "Hey, will you think about celery for a few minutes and just like let me know what you think?" You could be like, "Yeah, I am going to think about celery for a few minutes." You can sit down and journal about it and blah blah, blah, or it just in your head like meditate on it. Or you can be like, "No, I don't want to think about it." But then there's other times you can't control your thoughts. If I'm like, "Don't think about celery," then who knows? I think it's like you
Okay.
can make yourself think about something, but you can't really make yourself not think about something.
Yeah, see, I agree with you there. I have OCD, and so I definitely understand the difficulty of like trying to stop thinking about something
Yeah.
that you don't want to think about. Yeah, so I agree with
Right.
you there. So do you think though that the ones that you once you kind of have ones that you focus on more and have more control over, do you still think that those are morally neutral, or do you think there's a difference there?
I don't think there's anything you can think about that is immoral to think about. I do think that you could choose to self-harm. You could sit and say, "I'm just going to think about the most awful, horrible, vile things I could think about for an hour because I deserve it. I'm a terrible person, and I'm just going to make myself just feel disgusted and terrible." You could do that, and I guess I would say that it's immoral to sort of like torture yourself that way. But like for all practical purposes, I would say no. You can think about or fantasize about whatever you want.
Okay, so is your position still about the same on things like you know, using sex dolls for CP or like drawn porn and stuff like that? Like, do you think that that's something that could possibly be beneficial because it's still just related to like thoughts and fantasies,
We're
so
talking
there's
about like
nothing.
beneficial as in scratching the itches of pedophiles so that they are happier and do not offend.
I guess I mean more beneficial and like
Just
it's
enjoyable,
not
just
it's
fun.
not inherently morally wrong, so if it is a provides a useful outcome, then it's okay, but maybe if it doesn't help at all, then don't bother doing it.
I think, um, yeah, I don't think it's wrong. I don't think simulated any type of simulated porn is wrong, unless you're depicting real people in a way that's going to make them feel like horrible or weird. But just any simulated fantasy of any type, I don't think is wrong. Um, Dolls, I think should be legal, but I think that it's a little weird. The idea of a kid seeing the existence of like a kid sex doll, I feel like might freak them out in a way that could be harmful. I don't know, but I have mixed feelings about that. But I definitely like illustrations or videos that are simulated. I think are fine.
Okay, last question. What about like certain kinks like DDLG and like consensual non-consent that it's like
Just role
it's
play?
simulating something sort of, but it's more of an action at that point.
No, I think all role play, as long as it's not significantly psychologically harming those involved, are not our moral. Yeah,
Okay,
I
see
don't think
the
there's anything wrong with DDLG.
okay. Do you
I think that makes some people might not be happy with it, or it might be like a compulsion to do it that makes people feel really good while they're having sex and then weird about it afterward, or I don't know. Like I'm not saying it's just like it's all good, like just do it whatever without thinking about it, but I would never call it immoral.
okay, gotcha. Uh, would you
So
agree that maybe repeating certain behaviors or even down to like thought patterns or fantasies can strengthen those um kind of strengthen those patterns in your brain, like make you sort of desensitized or uh have them become more automatically going to sort of.
yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely the first time I saw porn, I felt like really weirded out. It almost wasn't like sexual at all. It was like animals or something. And then I watched more of it, and then I was like, oh no, I like this. And then same thing with gay porn. I think even after having watched a bunch of straight porn, the first time I saw gay porn, I was like, "That's not. That doesn't. That looks really weird. That's not right. This is really weird." And then I was like, "No, I like this too. I get it. I see." So I assume that that's true of all. I mean, it's happened to be at like kink events where I've seen people doing stuff where I'm like, "This is that's weird. That's very uncomfortable," and then been like, "No, maybe I'll try that." So yeah, I think that you can definitely become used to or develop a acquired taste for certain sexual things, and I imagine it's pretty hard to predict what those would be.
Okay, that's kind of my main sticking point with things like lolly, drawn CP, lolly, the sex doll, stuff like that, is I
Yeah.
feel like it's that unpredictability and the potential for that. I don't know if it would even be worth running that risk to see if it is beneficial just because it's something that
Okay, but then
it,
should we
it could.
I I will grant you that it's possible that simulated CP could make people more pedophilic. It could make some people more pedophilic. It could make other people less pedophilic. It could make some people who are pedophiles feel more satisfied, and so maybe they'd be less likely to look at real CP or offend in some other way. I think it's unpredictable, but I will grant you that it's possible. At the same time, I think it's possible that Call of Duty can make some people, not obviously not on average, but could make some people more likely to commit acts of violence. Like all the studies about that are like, yeah, it doesn't make people more violent. It doesn't make people more likely to do like a mass shooting. But we're not really worried about the average person becoming more likely to do a mass shooting. We're worried about the fringe, 0.0001% of people or 0.0001% of people who maybe those people, like if it makes those people commit mass shooting, it doesn't really matter how it affects the average person's psychology. It's still bad. But at the same time, I think we need the freedom to express and play with our disgusting, violent, sexual, weird desires. So I agree that it's possible, but I think that we can't outlaw people exploring their own feelings, essentially.
See, I agree with that train of logic. However, I think porn is slightly different and just general, like sexual related stuff like that because it's such a powerful instinct in people that it sort of makes deeper grooves in your brain, so to speak, I feel like, than say playing video games does, where it's harder to separate yourself from the fantasy you're playing than if you're just say playing a video game. And see, that's the thing that I think is an issue with it is I feel like it would be very difficult to have people be able to not have it affect them because our sex drives are so like intrinsically tied to our experiences as people.
Okay, and so this is an argument for restricting the ways that people express and play with and experience and experiment with and enjoy their sexualities. Because
Well, not like I
you're
don't think
saying
we
if
should
you there's
restrict.
some
Sorry, you go. Sorry.
you're saying that some of those grooves could be made deeper to the extent or more likely to be made deeper by sexual stimulation, and that therefore those people are more likely to harm children.
Yeah, I wouldn't go I wouldn't say necessarily that we should like restrict people's behaviors as much as it weirds me out, like certain kinks like DDLG and stuff. I don't think that should be regulated, but stuff like the sex dolls and like drawn CP lolly, stuff
I
like
just
that.
That's not a model of societal safety that I like. So you can, and I think this is kind of what I'm going to get at in my pedophile narrative video, where something we seem to buy into a lot is we say Um, so there's like a lot of problems in the Smash community of teenagers fucking adults.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, and the community's self-policing solution and online, Twitter and YouTube, everybody's solution seems to be, well, they just shouldn't want to do that. You shouldn't want to fuck a 15-year-old when you're 25. So those people just need to have it explained to them that you're disgusting, you're a pedophile, and you shouldn't want to do that. And if we get that across to them, then they won't do it because they won't want to. And it kind of feels like the same argument you're making where you're like, we just need to keep people from wanting to. And I imagine a beautiful society where people do want to do terrible things to each other. They want to fuck all kinds of people. They want to kill each other. They have all these feelings, intensely human, strong animal feelings and thoughts that we don't turn away from because we set society up in a way where those things don't happen, where we prevent each other, or we have inhibitions that prevent ourselves. We don't prevent ourselves from fucking a 15-year-old by pretending we don't want to. We prevent ourselves from doing it by actually recognizing that that would be wrong and not doing it. Like the lack of an urge to do something is very different from an acknowledgement of the urge, but also knowing, like, having empathy and morals and inhibitions and foresight and all the things that go into not pushing an old lady in front of the subway when you're waiting for the subway, even
Well,
if
see,
even if you're curious about what it would be like to do. And so, like with
see,
the Smash thing,
oh, I'm sorry.
with the Smash thing, I'm like, just stop putting 25-year-olds in hotels with 15-year-olds. Like to stop mixing everybody. That doesn't make sense. You need somebody there, like adults, making sure that the kids are protected the same way you would in a high school. You would never let a bunch of freshmen and seniors sleep together in private rooms in a high school. You'd never ever do that. Because you wouldn't be like, well, there might be some pedophiles at the high school. You'd just be like, no, they're gonna fuck each other. You can't do that. You'd never let teachers sleep in a room privately with students in a high school. Because they're gonna fuck each other. That's what humans do. They fuck and they kill each other. And I think I just don't think like trying to stop us from feeling that or being aware of it or playing with it is really good. I much prefer a model where we just protect each other from the actions.
See, I definitely completely agree with you about like what you said about protecting from the action. And I would say that I think restricting certain content like that is more related to that. I agree with you that I don't think we can ever like remove people's desires for these things, especially because of how like it's like a biological drive that every human's gonna have basically. But
Mm-hmm.
I think if we restrict access to things that we recognize could increase the likelihood of these behaviors, and then I feel like not as much restricting the desire to see the things, but just preventing access to them once they reach a certain level of sort of realism, I guess you could say, or like
Okay, but
closely
you just
matching
sound
it.
like you sound like China.
Damn.
Like China, in China, you're not allowed to release a movie that has ghosts in it
Yeah,
because
I agree.
they don't want people believing in supernatural shit. They don't want people being religious. They don't want people revolting. They don't want people having loyalty to a group or something more than they're loyal to China. So they're like, it's just better just not have any spirits in our movies.
Yeah, but see, that's restricting the media to prevent people from having thoughts or feelings, and I'm saying more to restrict the likelihood of a behavior as
But
opposed
no,
to,
no, they don't care what people think. They just don't want people to revolt.
I feel like China, well, they care about what people think in order to prevent them from revolting. I get what you're saying
Exactly.
there,
That's
yeah.
exactly the same thing that you're saying. You're saying I don't want people thinking bad thoughts about kids or whatever sexual thing we're trying to stop people from doing. Therefore, we restrict the media so they don't think about it too much. Because if they think about it too much, they might do something. And I get that train of thought, and there's some validity to it, but I just think it's such a restrictive, anti-human, sad way of life that I don't think we should inflict that on each other. I think it should just be like fantasize about whatever gets you off, get yourself off. Just we just got to set things up so we don't hurt each other. Somebody said, I don't care about video games. Fuck, I just lost it. I don't care about video games. There are barriers preventing a normal person from GTAing a bunch of people. Children are far more available with less barriers to entry to abuse. That's kind of true. I mean, I have multiple ARs in my house right now. And I think that's true of a lot of people in Oregon. So, I don't think that's actually that true. It's pretty easy to buy a gun. It's probably easier where I live to get a AR with a 30 round magazine than it is to become like a tutor. I don't think that's true. However, I think that murder is cleared at like 50% or something. 50% of people get caught, whereas child abuse is probably way lower. So there's a lower barrier to entry in that sense. And I also think that, I don't know. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
I would definitely.
I think more people want to abuse children than they do want to shoot strangers.
I would probably agree with you there. I
Yeah.
think it's a lot more pervasive than a lot of people realize, unfortunately. And the internet has, as you've said before, has made it a lot easier for people to do that and a lot worse of a problem. I would,
Uh, yeah. I mean, mass shootings are very rare. They're
yeah,
really horrifying and upsetting, but they compared to child abuse, they're very. I don't know if it's a. I don't know if you. I don't know. We should say one's a worse problem than the other. I feel like they're both pretty big problems.
yeah.
Max
I,
shouldn't be able to buy a gun. Why? What law do you? What law do you think should prevent me from buying a gun? Somebody who seeks therapy probably shouldn't have an AR. You think if you go to
oh, see, I don't
therapy,
agree with that at all.
that's crazy. You think if you go to therapy, you shouldn't be able to buy a gun?
I'm pretty sure that that was a law that was trying to be passed a few years back, and I don't agree with that at all.
Okay, I think you shouldn't be able to buy an AR if you haven't gone to therapy. Dipshit. How do you like that?
I also, I will agree with you too that I think like a lot more focus needs to be put on uh teaching kids how to like helping kids understand boundaries better and knowing like feeling comfortable and safe with like communicating with whether their parents or another trusted adult they have like if
Yeah.
something were to happen because I think that because parents are so like scared to like talk about sex or anything like that with their kids, it actually makes it easier for predators to take advantage of them basically and threaten them and stuff like that for to like not say anything. And there's still I would say there's still a
Yeah, I think
massive
we can agree on that. I just think that where our sticking point is about art.
and see I would agree with you on like 99% of like the stuff you're saying about art because I
But we're
agree
talking
with
about
you
the
about the
1%.
restrictions. Yeah. Uh, I just think that maybe it could be something that could be removed. I think it could maybe be a stopgap as these other things are implemented and then removed, although I will agree that sometimes it's hard to remove stuff once it's put in place. But I feel like I don't see enough benefit from those like tiny subsection of things being allowed, but I see a great potential for problems to arise from it.
I think we're gonna just have to agree to disagree.
Okay. I'm fine with that. It was nice talking to you, though.
It was nice talking to you too.
All right. Well, you have a good night, Mr. Girl.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Bye. I don't think you should be able to buy an AR. Period. Okay, that's fine. But when you say I specifically